I just don't like hard no's with nothing behind it just because it's a no. That's like your parent telling you something and you being frustrated as a kid because you don't understand. And I know kids don't always have to have an explanation.
You
but
are the queen of not giving an explanation. You used to like, it's because I said so. Remember that?
Yeah, and I've changed that.
When,
I have changed that.
when did that?
When you told me, you were like, you can't have a kid, blah, blah, blah. Just like I wanted to spank him and you wouldn't let me spank him. So, right, what I'm saying, everybody has to grow. So I understand. But I also understand that there are sometimes the kids know my mommy is going to explain where mommy is not going to explain. Because again, there's a fine line of being disrespectful and where a kid needs to know why this thing is not happening. Totally get it. But if it's something that is a hard no, because I know, it may have some circumstances behind it that I might not want to share, might be too big for them or too much, I may just say, I'll explain at another date or something like that. I'm not, I'm not unreasonable. I'm just not. But, yeah. We just have to figure out a happy medium for when we come to town, because that was the first time we ran up against like a no and a yes. It was like, I say yes. He says no. Ross went back to school. Didn't fight it because, again, I just told Rael, I have bigger fish to fry. I have to pick my battles, and I think that's what you have to do in a marriage. Sometimes I let stuff go, but I'm finding out I let a lot of stuff go, and I think I'm at the point where I'm here, and we're going to have to talk about these things. So I'm
What's
no
the
longer...
discussion?
The discussion is you don't get to say the hard no or the no without there being some conversation behind it. Because one, you are not my father. And two, I am grown.
And what's 3?
3, if you can't comply, then I'm just going to do the thing that I want to do anyway.
Oh, for real? Is that where we at with it now?
We're going to.
Okay.
We're going to be, because I just don't... Marriage does not mean that one person or the other is in control or has the final say. I think it has to be a joint effort. And for so long, being busy with the children and not being able to really focus on the thing, because in my head, I'm trying to get them to school and pick them up and da. And he gets to make all the decisions. And I'm like, okay,
Well, I think for a long time, you've always defaulted to me to have the final say. I think you've always kind of counted on me to come in with a decisive decision or definitive decision on things, because I think you've had an appreciation for the fact that I'm level-headed, I'm reasonable, most of the time I'm well-researched. I am quick to a no, but we've had that conversation before. It's easier for me to establish no to stop the train, to give myself time to consider things. Even after I say no, I still consider them. And then I'll usually come back around and go, you know what? Let's revisit that. But it's most of the time, it's, matter of fact, 99% of the time.
I got a whole nother example.
99% of the time, if it's dealing with the boys, I'll start with no, and then I'll take some time and think about it. And then if it makes sense to adjust that no, then I'll talk to you and we'll adjust the no. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a process. That's my process.
It is a process, but it also makes me feel like I'm talking to my dad.
I'm not your father.
I don't want you to be my father.
Listen,
and that's the whole thing.
But then why use that as a point of reference?
Because that's how I feel. I don't want you to be my father, and sometimes making me feel like your father is two different things. I said I don't want you to.
What can I do to help change that?
You need to join the conversation and say, hey, let's come to a resolution together, versus why you don't like it, why you think it's not going to work, what doesn't make sense to you, blah, 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 blah.
Well, blah, 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 blah is not a good thing to say.
Yeah, well, I'm saying all your other things in your head of why the thing that I want to do or want is not going to happen, or you don't think it's a good idea. Versus, and sitting down at that point and talking it out. 1, April, we have this to do. Did you consider this? Could we hold it back for 3 months and then maybe, then I could see it happening, versus no. or
Versus no.
yeah, versus no, or things on our platform or whatever that I have ideas that
Hold on. Just me listening to your version of this makes me think I am such a jerk.
because you are.
You say I'm a jerk?
Babe, you are a mess.